Hello, welcome to this edition of the M+M Podcast. I'm here with Matthew Wisniewski, and we're going to talk about the New York Red Bulls in the playoffs. And the Red Bulls now are taking on the New England Revolution in the conference finals, and it's a thriller series, and I hope that the Red Bulls can pull out and win the series. And we're going to talk about the Red Bulls before this series. We're going to talk about when they played Kansas City in the knockout round. And then we're going to talk about them with playing against DC United, the both legs. So, Matthew, any comments about the Red Bulls playing right now? Any comments?
Yeah, they just lost at home 2-1 to New England.
Dagger loss.
I think that reffing is literally the worst reffing I have ever seen in my life. 10 yellow cards were given out to both teams. I think it was 6-4 or 7-4. Red Bulls had more. I mean, he literally took away almost every opportunity for the Red Bulls. It was absolutely awful.
And the Red Bulls, Jermaine Jones should have had a red card. You saw it. Everybody saw it.
Oh, that was
Even
clear.
Even the Revolution fans, they know it too. That was a red card. He completely went in 2 feet in and tackled him. Even though he got a yellow, he should have gotten a straight red. But he also should have gotten a yellow card when he took out Alexander before that play.
I mean, there was some missed
I personally think that Jermaine Jones is one of the dirtiest players on the team, even though I wish Jermaine Jones is on the Red Bulls because he's just he's amazing player. He started to give the Revolution a more of a he made the team much better.
I'd say
even though they were pretty decent before, they had a great run right when he came.
Yeah.
And Lee Win just started to play really fantastic. But the Red Bulls are still playing decent, even though they lost 2-1 at home, a tough loss. We'll talk first about the Kansas City series.
That was crazy.
So basically, the Red Bulls before, they played away in Kansas City, the last home game, and Bradley Wright Phillips could break the record or tie the record for goals in a single season. How
many did he have coming into the game? 25.
25, yeah. I believe, and he tied it with, I think it was 27, and 27. It was amazing. I watched it. They played amazing. Kansas City looked awful, and the Red Bulls just took their chances. He could have had 3 goals or 4, but without Henry, he showed that he can score without him. But we're not going to have him Saturday because of yellow card accumulation, so Henry's going to have to pick up the load. But Bradley Wright Phillips played amazing that game. We won 2-0, and then I think we had a couple days, and we played home
3 or 4 days
for the game, and 3 or 4 days off, so the tickets didn't sell as much. So the stadium was empty, but it was loud.
It's the hardcore
Taylor
supporters,
said that.
really.
He said it was loud. And
it was really the real supporters.
South Ward.
The South Ward was full, but that was about it. I was not there for either game.
So, Matt, any comments? Yes, I was there for that
I saw
game.
the second half of their first playoff game. That was absolutely crazy. Bradley Wright Phillips scored the last goal in around the 90th minute, or was it just before?
It was the 90th minute, right at the 90th minute, with a great cross by Yongo.
It was 1-1, and then he put the game away with that goal, sending them against DC United. It was crazy. I wasn't even there.
It was really a crazy game. When I was there, fans, we were just hugging random people, but everybody went nuts. Even if this is like your first game ever going, everybody was so energized from it. When Dom Dwyer scored for Kansas City, I was very shocked and disappointed to see them score. I thought this was going to be it, and see Henry leave by getting knocked out by the champions of last year. But that was not the case. Henry and Bradley Wright Phillips showed how it's done. Also, I have to give credit to Lulian Dula. Peggy, just after he came off the bench for Tim Cahill, he brought on a spark, extra legs for us, and more energy, and helped us win that game.
Now,
and we have to give props to the defense and Robles.
now then they went on to play DC United. Against Kansas City, it was a 1-game playoff. This is a 2-game aggregate playoff, and I'm not going to go into all the details of aggregate playoffs. You could look it up.
Yeah.
But essentially, you combine the scores of both games, and if the score is tied, it goes most away goals, and then if it's still tied, then you go to overtime. So that's essentially what it is. So you essentially combine both games. But the first game was at home, and I mean that game was crazy.
Both of us were at the game.
Yeah,
too.
I was at that game. That was absolutely crazy.
2-0 win. BWP delivered off of a great heel flick pass from Thierry Henry, and then Peggy Lulindula dummied it, let it go, and Bradley Wright Phillips just passed it into the open corner.
I think what really helped us in that series was not giving up any away goals to DC United. That really, a 2-0 win, that really helped. I mean, that was absolutely major. And in the next game, where they lost 2-1, they still moved on because they had no away goals, really. That's really what it comes down to.
It was very crazy, though. Like, getting those 2 goals really put the nail in the coffin. Even though they had to go to DC and still clash and battle
they really
that game,
just needed a goal at DC. That's
it was
really
amazing.
It.
They needed that. And
they got a goal in around the 50th
there,
minute? Somewhere around there?
The second leg?
Yeah, the second leg.
It was after halftime.
Yeah, it was
probably around the 50th minute.
Really, DC knew
DC
knew it was over when they got when the Red Bulls scored, because then DC needed 4 goals to win. It would 4-1, and yeah, that was done.
The first leg, I want to go back to the first leg. Henry had one of his best games with playoff games.
2 assists.
He had 2 assists, 2 great assists, great ball to Peggy, which might have been offsides, controversial call there, but we don't know. Well, it's over now, the play, so can't go back. Then that kind of put that game out for DC. They couldn't. If they got a goal, that would have been huge for them. But we let up no goals at home for them away, and that was perfect for us. So that they didn't get an away goal, that means we would have to get like 2.
Yeah.
So then we marched into RFK, which I should have been there, but I had other things.
Did you actually win that soccer game?
And the Red Bulls took on. Yeah, we won, obviously, but we played the worst team, so it was kind of stupid.
And then
stupid
they went
playoff game. Well, not stupid. It was just,
So then, that game was, they knew, the Red Bulls knew exactly what they needed to do. They needed a goal. That's really what they needed to do. A goal and not have a miracle.
And they needed to defend and not let up 3 goals.
Yeah, because
if they let up 3, then that meant that, they would tie the series or they would lose.
But
they would lose, actually, if they let up 3 goals.
Then they went in, they won. They scored. It was really a 1-1 game, and then like the 90th, one of the DC players scored. That was really kind of just a throwaway, because
it was.
I mean, it was really a 1-1 game, but it didn't really matter anyway. They weren't going to win at that point.
Yeah, when I was watching the game, I actually taped it, so I didn't know, because I had a soccer tryout right after, and then I went and I watched it, and I did not want to know any result.
I texted you.
Also, and
Anna was like, sorry, Michael's
my sister.
sleeping.
Yeah, my sister texted Matt back, and she saw the result, so she already knew what happened. But I didn't know, and then when DC United got the first goal, I was kind of kind of nervous that we were gonna let this slip, and it kind of, I don't know, like, it made me feel more nervous, and it wasn't even, like, close to the end. It was, like, towards 36th minute, and the header, it was an amazing header, and they were pressuring DC, and it was, I thought we were going to lose it, actually, after that goal, but then Bradley Wright Phillips had a couple chances, didn't finish them. we went into the halftime 1-0, well 2-1 on aggregate, and then Peggy and Henri did what they knew what to do most. Henri got it in the corner and crossed it in, and Peggy just tucked
I
it
did
in,
not
and
see that game.
Really, that was the series.
I did not see that game either. I was at marching band national competition in Allentown. So I just heard about it. I mean, I wasn't really that excited for it because I was pretty confident that the Red Bulls were going to advance after letting up no goals in the first game. So then they go on play New England Revolution.
But also before that, Roy Miller received a red card in that game. He was already on it. He was going to be suspended for the next game, but when he got the red card studs up on Franklin, he got ejected and he's out for both games. But I personally didn't think that was a red card. I understand he should have gotten a yellow then the red, but I don't think that was a straight red. People thought it was a red, but I think Franklin kind of milked it and made it, but it didn't matter. The Red Bulls got through, and we marched into RFK, and we did what we had to do, and we won.
Yeah, that was good. And then now they had to play New England, one of the best teams. Well, not necessarily one of the best teams. They're just one of the hottest teams.
One of the hottest teams.
Red hot. And I think they still are, and it's going to be tough. So, in that game, we were both there.
Sitting above the southboard.
Yeah, it was New England scored first, and that was just, I did not like that. Then the Red Bulls got back.
It was disappointing. Bunbury. It was Bunbury. The shot was amazing. Curved it left foot, top right, left the right corner of Robles' right. But I'm not saying this is Robles' fault, but I think he could have dove for it. It was diveable. He could have maybe punched it, but I don't think he was expecting that to go in like that.
Yeah.
But then the Red Bulls responded with a goal from Bradley Wright Phillips. Peggy got a through ball. He shot it at the keeper. He fell, came back to him, he kicked it. It hit the crossbar, bounced to Wright Phillips, and he headed it right in. And people were saying that could have been offsides, but I didn't see the offsides at all.
I think
he was behind the goalkeeper.
I saw.
Well, he was in line with the keeper.
What
so
was really
I didn't think
distracting from the game was the fact that ref was giving cards like mad. He was absolutely out of his mind. Yeah. The problem wasn't that initially the New England and Red Bulls, I mean, obviously they're a little aggressive because it's the playoffs, but that ref was making it way more aggressive than it had to be.
You can't call 10 yellow cards. It was a dumb play by him. He knows it. He, I think, said something to the media that it was a dumb play from him. He basically just knocked into the goalie with the ball, and it was kind of stupid play of him. And I thought it was stupid, so we lost that game 2-1 with a Jermaine Jones goal, and now we have a Saturday game, and now we're going to just take a quick break, and I hope you enjoyed this quick little section, and we'll be back with more.
Big news from OxyClean. We're shaking up the bleach aisle. Introducing new OxyClean White Revive with 40% more whitening power than detergent alone. Pre-soak and wash for tough stain removal and bleach-like whitening. It works on whites and colors and gets out messy stains without the fear of chlorine spills. Even on dingy socks, it whitens better than chlorine bleach. For vivid white laundry, try new OxyClean White Revive, the official stain fighter of Major League Baseball.
Welcome back, and we're here again, and we're going to just talk a little bit more about the New England Revolution series. And right before the break, we were talking about how we let up the Bunbury goal, and Luling Dula's shot was off the crossbar, and then Wright Phillips scored it. Then, towards the end, the 84th, 5th minute, Lee went on a break with Bunbury and Jermaine Jones running. Jermaine Jones running towards the box, and Lee Win finds Bunbury, and Bunbury just plays a ball across to Jermaine Jones, and Robles comes out trying to stop Bunbury, and then Jermaine Jones just taps it in, and the only thing you hear is the Revolution fans cheering.
Yeah,
and
that was pretty bad.
It's upsetting to hear it, but it stinks to hear them the only ones chanting, and letting up that goal kind of that was a dagger. But I think that the Rebels could come back and beat the Revolution in New England, but it's going to be tough without our number one goal scorer.
So what do you think for next game? What do you think is going to be the score, and are they going to move on?
I think the score, and you're going to be a little surprised, but I think it's going to be 2-0 Red Bulls.
And that would clinch them, right?
That would put them through.
I'm going to say 3-2 Red Bulls, but that's not going to be enough to get them.
3-2?
That's not going to be enough to get them in.
Okay.
Would it?
I think...
Oh, yeah, would it?
That's too much. Wait, 3-2? So that they would have 2
away
goals,
wait.
so that would be 4.
2 plus 2 is
and
4,
and
3 plus 1 is 4. So away goals
we had more away goals.
So, we would go through on a 3-2 win.
Yeah.
So, we both say we're going. And then let's talk a little about the other playoffs. Right now, the other conference final game is...
It's Seattle versus the Galaxy. And the Galaxy is up 1-0 off of a stupid goal that he scored. It was a deflection, and the goal
it was
had no other way to save it. Yes.
Where was that game?
Seattle had other chances, too. It was in L.A., because Seattle's the higher seed. They won the
who do you think is going to move on there?
I personally think the Galaxy are going through. But even though with a 1-goal advantage going into Seattle, one of the hardest places to play, I don't know. I don't know if Donovan and the Galaxy are going to be up for the challenge against Dempsey and Obafemi Martins in Seattle, where it's one of the harshest places to play, hardest places. And the Red Bulls... I don't think they played this year, but last year they tied 1-1 there.
Okay,
so,
let's say
it could be done. It's not impossible.
Let's say the Red Bulls move on to the MLS Cup, and then they play the Galaxy. Do you think they could beat the Galaxy?
I think it is possible that they could beat the Galaxy, but playing in LA it was tough. The Red Bulls lost. I think it was 4-0 there.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
When they played them in September.
I'd say I don't think they could beat Galaxy.
I don't know.
What about against Seattle?
It is possible. It is possible, but I'm not saying that they will. But if they do, I think it is possible.
What if they move on and play Seattle?
Then I think they can win that.
I'd give it a more likely chance of beating Seattle, the Red Bulls beating Seattle. But I don't give it. I give it a 50-50.
Because we do bet. Yeah, me too. Though, I just feel like both of those places are hard to play in. And
now,
I think the hardest place to play is Seattle. But how the Galaxy have been playing with Robbie Keane, Donovan, and Zardes, I think you pronounce his name. They just been unstoppable.
So
I don't know.
If
we have to just get through this round first.
New England makes it to the finals, who do you think they have a better chance against, Galaxy or Seattle?
I think if New England goes through, they have a good chance. But if the Galaxy go through or New England, do you say?
What do you think would be better for New England, if Seattle went through or Galaxy went through?
I think New England has a good chance playing both teams because they're just red hot.
So you think
now.
they would win against either team?
Yes, I think they could beat any team. Lee Win and Jermaine Jones and Bunbury just been playing superb. Gonzalez has been playing pretty decent in the back line, and their goalkeeper's been playing pretty decent too for them. But I personally think that New England could win anywhere they go.
All right.
England, the Red Bulls, I think they could, but it's going to be hard chance for them.
That'll just about wrap it up for this episode of the M+M Podcast.
The eighth, or
this
is
is
this
the
the eighth
seventh,
episode that we
seventh
done?
episode, but this is the first
sure?
one.
Because I feel like we've been
This
saying
is the
seven.
first one we're recording directly to iTunes. The last one, our first one on iTunes, was originally on YouTube. So, we'll see you next time.
I hope you enjoyed this
Subscribe
episode.
to our podcast
and
on
also,
iTunes.
if you want, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
And
also watch
just
and
support the
download our
podcast.
Our podcast is on iTunes, and just support it and make it big. And we're gonna talk about other sports too. Don't worry if we're just talking about the Red Bulls right now. They're playing They're playing good right now in the conference finals. So we're just kind of focusing on them. But we'll be focusing on other sports too. Like when this is over, we'll talk about the Knicks and the Nets, and then baseball's almost coming soon, and football's up right now.
So
we have all these sports. So we'll make sure
we're looking forward to more podcasts.
in the next upcoming.
Hope you have a good
So if the Red Bulls do go through,
week.
then we're gonna be talking about them more.
Well, that'll do us.
So I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. Because it's already tomorrow. Friday's Thanksgiving, so I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving.
Actually,
Spend it
Thursday's
with your family,
Thanksgiving.
eat a lot of turkey.
But that'll just wrap it up. We'll see you
Tomorrow?
next time on the M+M Podcast.